Hello, it's June the 20th and I'm having a kiln opening. Actually, I've already opened it, and I wanted to show you the cones before I show you the pottery. This was on the top shelf. There's cones from left to right. There's 5, 6, and 7. Those look to be okay. These were on the middle shelf. These seem to be pretty much okay. But if you really notice, the cone 7, the cone is starting to bend at this point. Then on the very bottom, if you look real well, I'm at a cone 7 there. So my kiln is getting very hot. Actually too hot for a cone 6 firing, in my opinion. Okay, so now for some of the disappointing news. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it. And most of this was kind of a test. And I know most of y'all out there probably don't use your good stuff to test on, but, well, I guess I'm crazy. But anyway, this bowl was the rolled rim. It's dipped one time with Shino. Has gunmetal green over the top about 1 inch. And then it's got splashes inside of gunmetal green. This cup I discovered has a crack on the side. I had no idea. This is a cup that was dipped in Shino. And then, believe it or not, it has three coats of Chun Red over the top. And as soon as I saw this at the top of the kiln, I knew I was in trouble with some of my test bowls. And you'll see that in a few moments. That really looks like pistachio Shino. As I'm getting ready to show you this mixing bowl. Pistachio Shino on the chatter here has that stripe, has a gunmetal green stripe, which looks like it may have ran. Oops. Inside and outside of that bowl it has pistachio Shino. 1 inch around the rim I put gunmetal green, then I put splashes inside and out of the gunmetal green as well. Okay, for the spoon rests. This is a Mayco Series 2000 glaze. It's bright orange. And then this one I had marked as saturated iron. I am almost positive that's Mayco, don't you think? It's just like Mayco. And this other one here is an EL121 Copper Adventurin. Those are the Mayco Elements. And then this other spoon rest is an EL108, which is Jade Moss. I thought that turned out pretty. Kind of like the color. Okay, I can't hold the piece and look at my notes at the same time, so I'm so sorry. This is a little rolled rim bowl here. This Shino was dipped with Shino, then with saturated iron over it, just one coat, and then it was dabbed inside and out with saturated iron, which I think is pretty as well with the Shino. Hope you can see this. Okay. This handleless cup, deep sienna speckle which I haven't ever used, and Timaku, which is dabbed in and out here. This one is saturated iron with deep sienna spackle. And I was telling my husband I thought this one was pretty. Okay, this bowl here, I was so disappointed when I saw this, because if you look at the edges of this bowl, it was starting to be very pretty. At least I thought so. But that stripe, which is the red gold, doesn't look too good. In the middle, I started with Celadon. This here light color here is Celadon. It is very light, and it was on the top shelf. That's the Celadon, and then right here, the little bit darker green, believe it or not, that's Chun Red. Then that is a red gold stripe. Then I put blue rutile on the top, on down next to the stripe. And that's got 4 coats of blue rutile. I have gunmetal green 1 inch over the top of this bowl. And then on the bottom of the bowl, the chattering is an indigo blue, which I like. But I don't think I'm going to be dabbing gunmetal green like that anymore. That's probably my last time to go dabbing. Because see, when you just dab it, it doesn't really do anything. But if you put thick coats of it on there, I'll show you in a little bit what happens. So anyway, I'm going to remember what this looks like on the top. So I really like this. But I made a very pretty bowl if it had just been that. You know, if I would just stop with 1 or 2 glazes, I'd probably be better off. My mom always told me, you live and you learn. So here's another one. This is going to be a chattered bowl. I filled the circle also in the middle with indigo blue. I waxed that, and I put that little curlicue in here. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit darker. I filled that with Chun Red, which you cannot see, it just turned out darker. And then the bottom chatter is an indigo, which is a Renaissance Glaze, which I think is very pretty. So I really like the indigo. And then I poured Celadon over the rim and on the front and back. Very ugly bowl. You know, that's my opinion. The next bowl here is another chattered bowl. I thought that one was kind of pretty. I filled the circle with red gold. I waxed it and made a curlicue. I left enough for a curlicue there that was unwaxed, and I poured gunmetal green inside. I cleaned the bowl, and then I used pistachio chino on the stripe back here, this little stripe right here. Gunmetal green on the rim, and then this is the Celadon on the top here, and then this is pistachio here, pistachio chino, which is a Coyote glaze. Okay. That one's okay, I guess. Now I'll show you the prettiest part already, the whole load here. And that is this one. This reminds me of one of Janice the Potter's fish bowls that she does, fish plate that she does. This is 1 dip of chino with alternating colors of blue rutile and gunmetal green. They're brushed randomly. Yeah, they were brushed randomly, and then on the bottom is gunmetal green as well on the bottom of the rim. If you notice, I tried not to put too much on it because I didn't want it to run, and it didn't, but there's some places where it just gets flat if you don't put enough. It's just kind of hard to judge it. But you see that blue in there? There's a cup I'm going to show you that ran and is stuck to something. My husband said that he thinks it's beautiful and he's going to try to save it, but he does not believe I use gunmetal green. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you shortly, but just imagine this blue here from the gunmetal green over black, because that's what I'm going to show you. Okay, so that was my favorite piece of all. And then this decorative bowl I thought was kind of pretty too. I just love to mess with a lot of glazes, I guess. This one has layers of blue rutile. I poured Shino and I waxed an area with gunmetal green, and then the bowl was also dipped from the bottom up with Shino, and then it has gunmetal green again over that. Just dabs all over it. I'm going to quit putting this dark color on the bottom because I don't think that's pretty either. Okay, now I'm going to get to these cups. I've been trying to make some South Carolina cups. I've tried to use some glaze over these trees, black glaze. I've tried the stoneware wash. Every time I try to sponge it off, it comes off. It doesn't stay. And anyway, I think I sponged that off too much. That is a pistachio Shino with gunmetal green on the rim. I want to show you the pencil. The pencil that I'm using is an underglaze black. It's lead free. Most people, I was told, get these if you're teaching like a kid's class or something and they just want to put their initials on their things. Well, it goes up to cone 10. And so when I got really frustrated with these cups, I decided that I would just color the tree. And so that's what I did with this. Here's another one. Now, this was my favorite cup of all of them, and so I'm probably more disappointed than anything with this cup because of what I'm about to tell you. Now, this has the underglaze pencil that I colored the tree with, and I thought that was okay. I love the rope handle. Sorry. But do you see under that rope handle? That's what color this cup is supposed to be. That is chun red. The chun red is hiding under the handle. I have no clue as to why this has happened. That was on the middle shelf, and you saw that the cone 7 cone was starting to come down. But that's 3 coats of chun red in and out. Then there's blue rutile, 3 coats randomly dabbed on that cup. And there's not a bit of blue on it either. I just feel like that whatever's going wrong with this chun red is kind of washing that out too. But if you look in there, you can see the little bit of hint. See the hint of chun red there? Again, that's what it's supposed to look like, the whole cup. On the edges, if you look at the brown, that's where the blue rutile is because it must have been applied too thin or something. Okay, next cup. This is Timbuktu with deep sienna speckle over the top of it. I think that the deep sienna speckle is a real pretty glaze. It really looks like an orange if you, like it's got an orange tint to it if you was to put it on like B-Mix, and I think this is like a Miller 50. It's a speckled clay, so it's going to look a little different. Okay, and I have one dip of Chino and 2 dips of red gold. This cup is okay. Sorry. I like the inside. I think the red gold breaks pretty good. Not quite as shiny maybe as I thought it was gonna be. Here's the polka dot cup. Polka dot cup was done in a Renaissance sea glass all over the dots. I know I thought it was gunmetal green, but it's not. That sea glass on the dots. Then they were waxed and I dipped the cup in Chino. But as you can see, some of it ran. So this is a cup I did Celadon on the outside. Dabs of pistachio Chino on the outside. But the cup itself had 2 coats of chun red on it first. And as you can see, there's no chun red. You can barely see a little stripe down in the bottom. Not even any around the handle this time. So that was also on the middle shelf. This is another Miller 50. This is pistachio Chino with deep sienna speckle dabbed in and out. This is another one of those cups that I didn't think looked too bad, but maybe not the way it's dabbed on there. The Renaissance sea glass, it looks similar to the gunmetal green right here, and it does give the appearance of glass. This is deep sienna speckle and pistachio Chino dabs inside and out. This is a vase I did a long time ago. This is Chun Plum. I like Janice's Chun Plum so much I wanted to try it. I think Chun Plum is pretty, but look inside, you see what I see? But on the outside, on the bottom, you don't see it. It's an S crack. And on the outside of this, I use gunmetal green for the little shapes. This was really fun, just making this. Just one of them times you just sat and... Actually, I think that was a messed up bowl, if you want to know the truth. But it was fun doing this after the bowl messed up. So, on the top shelf, in this kiln load, I have a cousin who came and she did some throwing on my wheel because she had taken this in school and she had made a little ring cup. She told me to glaze it red for her. You see what I see? Chun red, just barely in there. On top shelf now. Feels real bumpy. I don't know what I'm going to tell her. It feels like, all the bowls I'm going to show you that has chun red on it, it feels like a plastic. You know how you can pop plastic? Well, that's what it feels like. Just I don't understand this at all. And then I put 3 coats of Celadon on this little tiny cup that she did, and you know something? That kind of went away too. Okay, I've got a bunch of testers here, but I'll show you that in a few minutes. This is my husband's favorite of all of them, he says. This has a dip of Timbuktu with Celadon on the rim. And I'm pretty sure I used the Deep Sienna Speckle as well. I'll probably never be able to make that one again. Unfortunately. Okay, now, this is my leaf cup. I've been trying to get these leaf cups. I'm going to show you this. So I go to my supplier and I tell them that I want to get something that will make a white that'll flow down the cup. So they tell me to get Pottery Cascade. So I buy some of this. First of all, I buy some Cinnabar, the color of Cinnabar. It's the Mayco Stoneware Glaze. The leaves were, I actually stained these. If you look, like I said, the stoneware wash didn't work. It barely worked anyway, to even see the little leaves. Or see the little veins in the leaf. So, I took Rutile Wash, which was the Mayco wash, and I stained the leaf. After that, I waxed it, all of them, because see, there's two on the other side. I waxed it, and then I used the Cinnabar over the top and the outside. And then, I took Coyote oatmeal. No, I took the Pottery Cascade 1 inch over the top and applied it kind of thick. I took the Coyote oatmeal 1.5 inches from the top and went down. And you see it just kind of lightened this up. It made a totally different color. It looks okay. It's just not what I was looking for. I was wanting that to be white and speckly looking, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get that. If anybody has any clue, I need something white and speckly just to flow down this cup over whatever color I decide to use for the body of the cup. I need a runny white-like color. Okay, now, I did an experiment with Shino. I did 4 Shino and 4 black. Now this, obviously from the last one, if you've watched, is my, yep, the whole plate and everything's with it. This is Shino and Gunmetal Green, which turned out so pretty last time. I wanted another one because my mother got the other one. So as you see, this whole plate is attached to it, where it has ran. But my husband says he's going to grind this off and we're going to see if we can save it. This is a Shino and Blue Rutile cup. My child from the last kiln load wanted one, so I made this one for him. So far, these two are my favorite colors, so I got some pretty ones. This is a Shino and red gold here. There is the tree, palm tree, with the underglaze pen, or shall I say pencil. Here's a Shino cup. Has gunmetal green on the bottom and gunmetal green dabs on the Shino. And this is kind of ran. But you know, it didn't run and enough to stick to a shelf or anything. It stopped. I was happy about that. Oops. Okay. This one is the one I was telling you back here a while ago that you won't believe that it turned blue. This is that gunmetal green over black. And in the last video, I think it was, I showed you my last blaze fire and the little girls in there, they had a bowl like this, so I wanted a cup like this. Well, it's ran and it's attached to this, so it's another one that my husband's going to try to see if he can save. We'll see. If not, I'm sure we're going to have to learn. Look at this. How pretty that is. Okay, this one has one dip of blue rutile and it barely got blue in there. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just got tired doing some of this, but this one here is black and this one has chino halfway down. But you know, you can't tell that either. And this one, I can't really tell what it is, but I'm going to just assume that this is the gunmetal green, because it looks like the same color. But you see, it ran just a little bit, but it didn't get too bad. It stopped. It didn't get stuck on the shelves. That's new kiln wash I have on those shelves. I don't even know why it decided to stick. Okay. And for my disappointing news, this bowl, well, let me show you this bowl first. This is my 3-pound bowl here. This bowl has chattering on the bottom. While I was throwing it, I took some brown slip and I put around it, and I wanted that to show up, so I decided to glaze the inside of this bowl with just the glaze. So this is just clear glaze in the middle and over the side, but on the bottom, this is the Renaissance sea glass over the chattering. So for anybody that's looking for a green, I liked it. And see, you can see the slip, the brown slip a little bit, but you can't see it that much. There again, it got so hot in there. I don't know. Anyway, I like that bowl. I made 2 chun red bowls. Now this was supposed to be the experiment here. I didn't know this one here had an S crack in that one either. And it's very thin. I hear some say that you won't get an S crack if you throw them thin, but that is not true. This is a very, very thin bowl. This is the chun red, and this has 4 coats on it. If you will look, you will see the chun red in the bottom, but not much. You'll see chun red on the outside. There was nothing else put on this bowl but chun red. 4 coats on each one of these bowls. These bowls are on the bottom where it coned out to cone 7. And I'm pretty sure this is a cone 5 glaze. I'm going to have to go look. It may be cone 5, cone 6. But anyway, I am of the opinion, since this is the second time I've done this, that it's too hot in the kiln. I don't know how many coats I should use. I thought 4 coats would be plenty. It was shook up well. It was brand new too. I actually opened a new one, so I don't know. And then this bowl here, this has 2 coats of chun red, which you wouldn't really know it. 2 coats of red gold. I dabbed gunmetal green over the edge and trim, over the edge and the rim, and I let it drip in the bowl and dabbed around the bowl. This, again, is like plastic. It must be where you listen? Popping noise. Just fried in there. So you can look on the outside here. It just fried it good. This is really this kind of sickening here. For stuff like this to happen. And I saw this bowl here. This is the 3-pound bowl right here. I'm sorry. I was so happy when I saw this bowl. I was like, wow, out of the whole kiln, I've got a beautiful bowl. And this one was done with 3 coats of red gold, the inside, and 1/4 of an inch on the outside was done in that color. Gunmetal green around the striping on the bottom of it is indigo, and then gunmetal green down the sides and over the rim. So you can see the green over the rim here. It's very pretty here, but the gunmetal green decides it is going to run over the indigo blue, and it ran on my shelves, and that would have been able to be saved there, but here it took a chunk out of it. So, guess what? I'm still going to use this bowl, but I'm very disappointed. What a beautiful bowl. So if you're out for a pretty color, this is only one color inside, and that's the red gold. Now if you see, like, I think like here, that few little flecks where it dripped, that's the gunmetal green, but there's not enough there to really say it made the bowl pretty. See here, that drip there, right there. Red gold by itself is a pretty color. I haven't really noticed that it runs at all. It was done, well, it was on a quarter of the rim here, but indigo on the bottom. The indigo looks okay, but it's the gunmetal green. You see how blue that gunmetal gets? I get something black, turns blue. I tried to tell my husband that. Okay, well, sometimes I'm almost too embarrassed to even post these because it seems like I'm posting some ugly pottery at times. But you know, again, if I can help somebody else, it's better for someone to see this done firsthand so they don't make the same mistakes. One day I'm going to produce some pretty pottery. These are some samples that I've done. This is chun red with celadon over the top. There it is, it's bubbled. This is celadon with chun red over the top. See, no difference. This is Coyote's red gold with Renaissance indigo blue over it. I thought that was kind of pretty. Indigo with red gold over it. Kind of funny, isn't it, that it made it. I put it on thick. It's kind of funny that that red gold turns blue. This one is Timaku with red gold over it. It's weird. Timaku over red gold. Timaku over true celadon. Timaku with true celadon over the top. You'd have never known that. I think I like this one pretty good. This is the Renaissance indigo as a base with gunmetal green over the top. See the gunmetal green turn blue? Gunmetal green with the indigo over the top. This is saturated iron with gunmetal green. Gunmetal green with saturated iron. Chun red with gunmetal green. Never know it. Gunmetal green with chun red over the top. That's pretty, but you just don't see any chun red. So, you know, if you want a really nice light blue, that would do what you wanted. This was my favorite of them all right here. This is that red gold with blue rutile over the top. Blue rutile with red gold over the top. And of the two, this is my favorite. Timaku with indigo blue over the top. Don't see anything different there. Just don't look like Timaku. Timaku over the indigo blue. There's no difference in them. Timaku and chun red, wouldn't you know? See how nice and plasticky that looks. Chun red. Put Timaku over the top. Here's red gold with gunmetal green. It's okay, it almost looks like a matte. Here's gunmetal green with red gold. Here's oatmeal with saturated iron over the top. Saturated iron with oatmeal over the top. Kind of like this in a way. I think it would have potential anyway. Kind of like a leopard color. depending on how you put it on. Okay, I think that pretty much sums up the kiln firing that I've done. And although there's been a lot of disappointments in this load, maybe I can save those 2 cups, and I'm going to probably quit doing so many tests in one load, because I'm ruining a whole lot of things. So I'm going to kind of take my best ones at this point and try to move on. Then I'll add every now and again to it. Maybe take a couple of them that I liked here. Okay, I thank you so much for watching. If anyone has any suggestions as to what's going on in my kiln, I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.